What's up, everybody? It's the Chill Scrub, and I got another rant for you guys today. This time we're going to be talking about ranked again, and there seems to be this misconception about how hard ranked actually is. You have a lot of content creators saying that ranked is still hard to achieve. You have a lot of beginner players saying that that rank is hard to achieve, and you have a lot of intermediate players that saying that getting to the higher ranks are extremely difficult. So as a person, I would say as a seasoned player, I'm not a pro player by any means, but I'm definitely no scrub. I wanted to see how hard it was for me to get from beginner rank in Tekken 8 to all the way to Tekken God, right? Now, mind you, I've been taking at least a 7 to 8 month hiatus off of Tekken 8 because I don't really like the direction that the game is going. From the attitude of the players to the mechanics of the game, it's not really my cup of tea. So in this session, it took me around 6 to 7 hours to get to Tekken God, from beginner all the way to Tekken God, right? From the pro player standpoint or the content creator standpoint that are saying that getting ranked in Tekken 8 is hard, that is a lie, right? It's getting remarkably easier with each iteration of Tekken. So let's start with, in most people's case, Tag 2. Tag 2, most of the people that are Tekken gods now will not make it past green and yellow ranks, right? Then you have Tekken 7. The people who were green and yellow ranks, they progress to purple, which are ruler ranks, and blue ranks, which are the god ranks, like Wind God, Fujin, Thunder God, Yasuke, and I think the last one was Dragon God, which was Ryujin in Tekken 7, right? The same players that are now, or that were purple ranks and blue ranks in Tekken 7 are now hitting Tekken Emperor, Tekken God Supreme, and God of Destruction. There's two ways I want to attack this. The first one being is people pride and ego, right? A lot of people want to believe that they got this high rank off of their own merit, off of their own skill, and that they have just progressed that far in the game. And I'm going to go ahead and shoot that down. You can hate me if you want to, but no. From Tag 2 to Tekken 7, it was astonishing how easier they made the game compared to its predecessor. Then you got Tekken 8, then Tekken now Tekken 8. Its predecessor was Tekken 7, and I can't believe how I didn't think they could make it even easier in Tekken 8, and they have, which allotted a lot of people to get ranks that they wouldn't necessarily get, myself included. I feel like in Tekken 7, there's no way I should be a god rank. Have I gotten a lot better? Yes, but to be able to get true Tekken God with relative ease, no. In this game, to just off of a whim get Tekken God, no. If it's supposed to be the highest of high ranks, a person like me that I would say I'm in the middle of the pack should not be able to get these ranks with such ease. Part number 2, people just want to ignore that the skill gap is no longer there and everything is blended together. With that being the case, again, you're going to see people in ranks that they should not be in. Not to mention with the iteration of Tekken 8 and them taking a good chunk of the ranks out, you have a lot of people progressing to, I say, they start to clip around, I say, Kenshin, Bushin, and Tekken King. That's where I say a good pool of the intermediate players are at. I would say some of them even sweep through the Tekken Emperor and sometimes Tekken God, but a good pool of the players are at the end ranks of the game. Rank is not hard at all. If you have the basic fundamentals of Tekken in general, you would breeze through, at least at the bare minimum, you'll breeze through Kenshin. You'll get the Kenshin before you start having some issues where there's matchup knowledge that you have to understand. Certain mechanics of the game you have to understand. These things that you will have to get after you get past those ranks, but you would breeze through. But with that being said, there's a lot of things in this game that do not require you to get fundamentals. There are people that are Emperor ranks that don't know how to 15 frame punish. I'm not saying the gameplay that I'm showing right now is perfect, far from it. Matter of fact, I'm showing you this gameplay to show you that if you turn your brain off, you can get some of these high ranks. A lot of people have this playstyle which makes their rank match grind a lot harder. Either they're playing way too solid or they're playing way too idiotic and way too risky. It's never a good blend, and in this gameplay I'm trying to show you there's a decent blend of playing like a complete idiot, and then there's a good way of just saying, you know what, let me be a little bit more solid since this guy know what he's doing. But shockingly enough, a lot of players in Tekken 8 have no clue what they're doing, and I'm not saying this as a knock, I'm just simply saying this as fact. The way the game was created, rank match was meant to be easy for most players so they can easily progress, right? Now, there's still a learning curve. I'm not going to sit there and act like there's not. And by me saying that it's too easy, that would be survivorship bias. But no, for the average person coming in that have never played a Tekken game before, this is significantly easier than trying a game like Tag 2 or T5 Dark Resurrection or T6 Bloodline Rebellion. Those games were extremely difficult to get into, and they were extremely punishing if you didn't know what was going on. In this game, Tekken 8, the rank match system bails you out. Speaking of which, you get the one and done. Now, for a good chunk of the good players, this is a problem where it's just hard to get matches. People just leave so often, right? You get the one and doners, and in my last video, there are so many people saying, well, I don't owe you a rematch, and a rematch is a courtesy and the whole Bushnell thing. I'm like, well, I'm going to be frank about it. This is why you're asked, right? If you only rematch when you can win, what happens when you start hitting that ceiling of people that you just cannot beat, right? At some point, you're going to have to actually play people and actually learn from your mistakes, right? But most people are dodging that, and this is why rank will seemingly be hard to them. But I tell people, and one of the pieces of advice I'm learning as I get older is sometimes the long way is actually the short way. You trying to shortcut is nothing. You're just cheating yourself at that point. So that's part of my spiel about ranked. Another thing is the ease of use of characters. Like I find myself most of the time when I'm playing characters in ranked, I'm overcomplicating it by doing it by the old motions when there's newer motions that make it so much easier. I don't like it. I don't care for it. It's not my cup of tea, but to each his own. When it comes down again to the rank system and people bitching about why you can't get certain ranks, I'm like, well, besides going past your normal flowchart, have you ever tried, actually labbing? Now, in my last video, I had somebody commenting saying that I don't know how to lab, I don't know how to do this, I don't know how, I have a glass ceiling here, oh, you can only get the Tekken King, you can only get the Tekken Emperor. And I'm like, no, I can easily get way past that if I wanted to. I just don't play the game long enough. And with this video, I'm proving that point. Within 6 hours, if I wanted to, starting from scratch, I can get the Tekken God with little to no problem. Right? Now, another thing that makes this ceiling that I'm talking about now so annoying for a lot of intermediate players is if you have somewhat advanced players around, I'll say Tekken Emperor, Tekken God, Tekken God Supreme, and you're trying to get to these ranks, well, good luck, because everybody's there. And it's harder to slip through those cracks as it was in the dying years of Tekken 7 in Season 3 and in Season 4, where all the good players have no reason to play, or all the good players are trying to get true Tekken God, Tekken God Prime, and Tekken God Omega in Season 4. So with that being said, in Tekken 7, you had ranks like that you wouldn't normally get, like Emperor wide open, Tekken King wide open, Ryujin wide open. So the blue ranks became the cesspool for the intermediate players, and they felt like they were really achieving something. And I was saying that even with Tag 2, most of these people, as I said earlier, would not make it past green ranks if they tried with what they do, because the game is way less forgiving than it is in Tekken 8. In Tekken 8, I see a lot of people that will openly say they don't understand the matchup, but they will still win because there's tools in the games and tools in the game and mechanics that help you out if you don't understand the matchup. You have power crutches, you have rage arts, you have heat system, you have so many tools to make the game easier for you, which goes back to that whole ego thing. Me personally, I feel insulted when they dumbed the game down for me. I'm like, I'm not stupid. I'm not the most execution heavy player of all time, far from it. But I'm not as bad as where I can't do some of the simplest things like sidestep block, where I can't utilize ducks and realize certain strings. I'm not that bad, but a lot of people, they hold their rank into such high regard. And what's crazy about it is these annoying motherfuckers go into other people's comment section and start talking a whole bunch of shit with ranks they're just now touching for the first time in a game that is overly saturated with easiness. I've literally had that in my video a couple of days ago where this dickhead came in and said, you know what? I'm going to give you some valid criticism on your play, and I don't think you should be trying to play a pro level style without having pro level experience. And with all due respect to said person, if you happen to see this video, please shut the fuck up talking to me when you don't understand anything that I said in that video whatsoever. Now, I kind of start seeing why content creators do not reply to all the comments, because I swear to God, for some of you people, I don't think you actually watch the video all the way through before you say something, because you end up reiterating what I already said 1,000 times over. And by any means, I always keep saying I am not the best player in the world, but I do have common sense. I've never seen such ego in a game that's so easy. Like, what baffles me about Tekken 8 is how prideful people are in their mediocrity. It's really like playing Tekken 8 in the best way I could summarize it in ranked matches, a participation trophy that you're flexing, right? Now, I said in another video that a lot of people tend to sit on their ranks, and that's fine. If you're having a hard time getting a rank, let me go ahead and clarify this. If you don't want to play ranked anymore and it's stressing you out, then don't play it, fine. But with that same token, right, let's not sit here and act all high and mighty and act like we're better than somebody else when we're actually not at all. And the craziest thing is, a lot of these people that have these higher ranks, they're not showing you the part where they won and done you to death. They don't show that part. They don't show that part where they're rage quitting. They don't show that part at all. All they do is they flex the rank, and I'm like, well, the gameplay doesn't match the rank at all. Even if the gameplay doesn't match, because we all have bad games. But even when we're having a one-to-one conversation or a conversation with a group of people about Tekken in general, and the knowledge just doesn't seem to be there, like things that are common knowledge, like let's say, for example, Kazuya's 112 flash punch. That is common knowledge to launch punish it. Now, am I expecting you to do that every single time? Absolutely not. But to have at least know the knowledge to do so, and not having it, but you are a Tekken God, God of Destruction, Tekken God Supreme, it's mind-boggling to me. Me personally, if I had that rank and I didn't have basic knowledge or common sense of the game, I would probably be quiet. But people like to flex ranks for whatever reason. And there's been this habit lately that I've been noticing with a lot of the community, where they're wanting to shit on the older games to prop up Tekken 8 and its rank match system. I'm like, well, the reason why, or you'll hear people say, well, the reason why I couldn't achieve ranks in Tekken Tag Tournament 2 is because the game was just so broken. No, you were ass. Let's just call it for what it is. I was ass, you was ass, and it's okay, right? Well, the reason why I couldn't get the rank in Tekken 7 is because they nerfed sidestepping to the point where I couldn't move my character. I'm like, for most characters in the game, that benefited them on the offensive end, because if you can't move out the way, you just go ham and you can win. And then in Tekken 8, right, you have certain individuals that make content. They will sit there and say, well, no, it's not that. They're just hating on our ranks because, we're just so good at the game, right? And you can't just take that away from them. I'm like, no, I'm going to take that away from you because this game is actually easy. It's really easy. There's multiple players that are legacy players that are having no problem with this game, myself included. I have little to no problem with this game. The only problem I have is when I go into rank match and niggas fucking leave 24/7 while I take my lumps. That's my only gripe I have with the rank match system. The first two things is perfect. And the only thing I will also critique on this is, like, let's put a system where if you don't finish the set, you gain no points, you don't lose any points. Something to that effect. I know it's not a perfect workaround, but something besides what's going on now, right? But yes, there's a lot of slandering older games to prop up their rank in Tekken 8, and I don't understand it. I'm like, no, you was just ass. And as I said before, they made the game progressively easier so you can feel better about yourself. But instead of feeling insulted and say, hey, I need to get better, no, what we proceed to do is we just want to knock down the older games. And here's the crazy thing: these are the same people who duck competition, right? Me personally, I will fight anyone, and I have no problem saying that somebody's just better than me at the game. But a lot of these people's egos are so fragile in rank match, they lose a rank and they end like it's the end of the world. I'm like, it's not that deep. Throughout this Tekken God run, I actually got demoted twice, I think, and I'm like, oh, okay, whatever, and I'll just get it right back. Some of it's due to me not knowing the certain matchups, which is okay since I haven't played the game like seriously in like what 7 to 8 months. And then part of it's just me being a dumbass because it happens sometimes. So part of it is me having bad games, and sometimes it's just the person was just better than me, and I can admit that they just were. For example, I was playing this Lily player, right? The dude was cold. Like, I hate the character, but I can't blame the character. No, I just got outplayed, and I have no problem admitting that whatsoever. But this is the rank match mentality, and I'm trying to show people it's really, really not that hard. I'm going to make other guides that's going to show fundamentals. The first guide I'm going to do is showing people how to play big Tekken and how to play small Tekken and when to do both. Another guide is going to be probably on when to move, how to move, and how to keep yourself as safe as possible, right? But going back to the whole thing about this whole rank thing, I really wish that people would tone it down. And watching this match, I'm going to go down 2 rounds and I'm going to just come back. Part of it, me being a dumbass, and a part of it is Tekken 8, and I don't understand what the fuck is going on. But haven't you noticed there's a surplus of people that just sit on their rank and they never go anywhere else with it, but they sit there and talk about other people? But here's the thing, like I said before, I don't mind you sitting on your rank, but when it comes down to like talking about other people and what they should and should not do, unless your gameplay is absolutely perfect, you really have no room to talk. And I always say this, none of us are professional players. None of us really make money off this besides like content creators or anything like this, but like, we're not going to Tekken World Tour, we're not going to Evo, we're not doing these things. And the thing is, I don't even mind people giving critiques of saying you could have done this, you could have done this, you could have done this. But even in my comment section, I will tell them, hey, I know that, but you know, in the heat of the moment, you don't do everything perfect. We're not fucking robots, right? Even the best of the best need Arslan Ash, JDCR, Nobi, Saint, Ranchu, whoever you want to name, I'm pretty sure we can sit there and watch some of their gameplay and say, he could have did this right here, he could have had an optimal punish right here, and these are dudes that are playing for thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars, and you're sitting here scratching your fupa talking about what somebody else should be doing, and you haven't even hit God ranks yourself, or if you did, you only hit God ranks in Tekken 8. And I know that sounds extremely condescending for me to say, but I have to say it. As a legacy player, I've hit God ranks in 2 out of the 3 games I just mentioned, and the reason why I said I hit God ranks in Tekken 7 is because 1, they made the game easier. I'm not scared to admit that. And number 2, I've gotten legacy skill. I've learned from Tag 2. I've applied that to Tekken 7. Now with Tekken 8, I hit God ranks in a matter of 6 hours. In a matter of 6 hours, I've hit God ranks. And this is from legacy skill from 2 of the 3 games. I've got legacy skill from Tag 2 and I have legacy skill from Tekken 7. It carries over and it translates. Even without me knowing all of the fundamentals of Tekken 8, I don't know how to use the heat system optimally. I don't. I still have to remind myself to power crush in certain situations where I don't have to guess the 50-50. But certain things just happen to carry over. when people like, and I'm not saying I hate this individual, like Main Man Tweet will say, well, rank is getting progressively harder. No, it's not. That's a lie, because even himself has gotten God of Destruction within a couple of days, maybe a month at the most, from when the game first came out, and he was doing it when the killers were actually there. This game is progressively easier. The only thing I could say is it will be annoying for newcomers, but it's always been annoying for newcomers. It has never changed. It's just that now for newcomers in ranked, you have a few more tools that will help you get an edge, or at least be able to fight with the people like me or people better than me that have legacy skill. That's the only difference. Rank is not harder. We need to stop that fallacy and stop that farce. No, it's actually easier. If they want to make rank harder, then make the game itself harder. That's the only thing I have to say about that. We're about to wrap up the video. Here's the Tekken God promotion. God like can kick or shutter kick. And that's going to be a wrap on this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe for more content in the future. I'll see you guys next time, and peace.